Coming up on Refining the Process, we will look at how two good companies have joined to make one great company. Plus, we will look at the group that keeps the refinery up and running. Then, what does it take to ensure quality? We'll show you. And discover the Cheyenne events that our company is involved in. All that and more in this episode of Refining the Process. Frontier Oil Corporation and Holly Oil Corporation have come together to create the HollyFrontier Corporation. But despite some of the changes, the company will still be dedicated to the community of Cheyenne. The refinery's history began in Cheyenne in 1934, and by 1940 it was known as the Frontier Refining Company. During World War II, Frontier produced aviation fuel for the war effort. Since then, Frontier was producing not only gasoline but also the petroleum that is used as the base for many consumer products. Holly got its start in the 1960s and, like Frontier, has been producing up to this day.
So it's been in the refining industry for almost 50 years. Pretty strong, independent refiner, pure play refiner, very dedicated to the business and has always been a ferocious competitor in the business.
The idea of merging the two together was actually thought of years earlier.
The merger has been on and off for years. The Holly and Frontier proposed to merge back in 2003 and 4. Got well down the road of it, and then the deal fell apart for several environmental reasons.
Years later, the idea of combining the two companies returned.
The time was kind of right, and stock prices were right, and so the two companies basically began talking.
Then in July of 2011, it was announced that the two companies would merge together to form the HollyFrontier Corporation.
The company that's formed as a result of this merger is a stronger company financially. It's over a $7 billion market cap.
And although the company isn't presently planning to produce more crude, there are other ways it's looking to be more competitive.
Well, what we are interested in, is, as expensive as oil is creating competitive advantage by looking at ways to improve yields, to recover more from an existing barrel of crude, run right to our capacities, to our limits.
This means getting the most out of its materials.
We will be looking for growth opportunities, opportunities to expand, opportunities to build upon the refinery here and enhance it and make it competitive for the long haul.
So how will this affect the local community?
From a standpoint of the overall merger, I think it's nothing but positive for the Cheyenne community. Holly has reinvested a lot of its profits right back into its plants, making them competitive. We are one of our three top values in our company are environmental health and safety. We take it very seriously, and we're very prone to that.
And there is a passion and a dedication to quality.
We're all about operational excellence and getting the right molecule in the right place and maximizing value, so we'll continue to do that.
Despite the changes to our name, our values and commitments to the area will continue on.
It's a privilege to operate a refinery in the community, such as Cheyenne.
We are HollyFrontier. Our refinery is made up of so many systems, so many devices, and so many pieces that when you stop and think about it, how does a plant this size keep up and running day after day and year after year? The answer is that there is a dedicated group of people whose sole job and focus is on keeping HollyFrontier up and running. The refinery here in Cheyenne is a complex and vast series of machines and systems run by experts. On an average, the facility employs 280 people and can produce 52,000 barrels a day, and the refinery operates 24 hours a day, all year round.
There is no holidays, weekends in a refinery.
For these reasons, it is crucial that everything be working in a productive and safe manner. But like any machine, there is a constant battle against age, corrosion, and plain old wear and tear. So if there is a problem, Holly Frontier has its own department dedicated to getting the facility back in working condition. This is maintenance.
We maintain and keep the plant running.
We do a lot of work, a lot of different crafts in a short amount of time.
This department of many members is made of smaller groups or shops that specialize in all kinds of trades.
We maintain the facility,
Whether it's pumps or piping,
mechanical, rotating equipment,
electrical.
insulation, carpentry.
So it just depends on what we're working on and what needs done. But most of the work we do in-house.
Most of the repairs at the refinery are proactive. That's where crews work to prevent problems before they become a major concern. This not only keeps production going and saves against costly repairs, but most of all, it ensures that workers can work around the equipment without risk.
Safety, of course, comes first.
The maintenance crews don't just go out and guess what needs to be fixed. It's much more organized than that.
There's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes to be efficient and to get the work completed. Operations operates the equipment.
And since these individuals work with these systems on a daily basis, it is usually the operators that discover potential problems.
The operations, if they have a problem with a pump or a piece of equipment, they put in a work order to their superintendent, and their superintendent rates it on where he thinks it needs to be fixed and on a timely matter.
From there, the supervisor will file a request.
And he goes to our planner, and our planner sits down with a schedule. If we find out we have all the parts to fix it, and they put it on the schedule, and then it comes to me on my schedule on what day it is.
It is from there the needed crews will go and repair whatever needs attention.
We coordinate with operations to get the work shut down, prepared so we can have it for maintenance to minimize the downtime.
And then I hand it out to my mechanics and we get it fixed. If something isn't right, we want to make it right so it runs good and keeps the plant running.
But like many things in life, not everything can be planned for.
Every day we come in and we have work planned out for 2 weeks in advance on what we're going to be working on. But every day if something goes down and they got to have it, it becomes an E-work order, and it's usually to keep the plant running. Probably the most challenging. You just never know when they're going to come.
And if critical equipment does suddenly fail, maintenance must adjust quickly to the situation.
If there's a E or break-in that comes up of something that's not scheduled the week ahead of time, then it's up to my job to coordinate that with operations and move other work orders around to get the work fixed and the other work completed in the same date or time frame.
And in these scenarios, it is crucial that repairs be made quickly to ensure the facility stays online.
So we have to rotate whatever we're working on, pull people off of jobs and get the E done, and that usually entails working on it until it's up and running again, which could take an hour or up to 8 or 16 hours.
If we want to minimize downtime, we'll work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to complete whatever project that we are working on or piece of equipment that failed. We have to put a lot of resources in the same place. A lot of things happen at the same time where projects, you have longer periods of time to stage your work.
If production needs to be slowed or even stopped while being repaired, it will, because at Holly Frontier, quality and safety are of the utmost importance.
We try to put safety first on everything we do, no matter what we're doing. Even if it involves leaving a piece of equipment down for a certain amount of time, safety is the first #1 aspect.
Everything that happens at the refinery is dependent upon the plant operating smoothly.
If we want to keep the facility economically viable, it takes good operators, good maintenance. We run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maintenance is critical to keep the plant running.
And with the hard work of its maintenance crews, Holly Frontier will continue to create the fuel that powers our future. When we return, we'll find out what quality is and how it relates to Holly Frontier products. Welcome back. In an earlier episode, we learned that oil refinery meant breaking down crude oil into other petroleum products. But how does the refinery make sure that those products are top-notch? A keen eye on quality control.
What is quality? What does it mean to go above and beyond this 7-letter word? It isn't simply producing good products, it's more than that. Without quality in fuels, engines could be damaged from the use of poor gasoline, or worse, they wouldn't run at all. At HollyFrontier, quality means you can be confident that we will produce the highest quality petroleum products right down to the molecular level. We learned in an earlier episode that oil refining breaks crude oil down into many different products, including gasoline, diesel, and propane, just to name a few. HollyFrontier fuels are created by blending these refined products into fuel mixtures.
Blending is 6 different blend stocks from throughout the plant. And so basically what you're doing is taking those different blend stocks and looking at their properties and then making them optimum gasoline blend so it meets that quality control that we want. So it's basically just making a mixture.
In order to make sure the products sold by HollyFrontier are top quality, the fuel blends are closely monitored using a number of scientific tests.
In order to ensure our quality control in blending, we have a system where we check each and every one of our blends. So we check almost every single day. And the lab samples the tanks, our finished product tanks, and they sample for all sorts of different specs like RVP and octane. There's different specs for different seasons of the year. So we ensure that it meets a specific quality. And a lot of those specs are EPA requirements, but also some of them are just actual Frontier requirements that we won't sell gasoline if it doesn't meet a certain spec, or diesel at a certain spec. So we ensure every single tank that we sell before it's ever transferred to the dock to ship.
One measure of fuel quality is octane rating. The name octane comes from breaking down crude in the refinery. When you take crude oil and crack it, you end up getting hydrocarbon chains of different lengths. These different chain lengths can then be separated from each other and blended to form different fuels. For example, methane, propane, and butane are all hydrocarbons. Methane has a single carbon atom. Propane has 3 carbon atoms chained together. Butane has 4 carbon atoms chained together. Pentane has 5, hexane has 6, heptane has 7, and octane has 8 carbons chained together. Most of us have seen the small yellow sticker on the gas pump with a number, typically 85, 87, 89, or 91. This sticker represents the octane rating in the particular nozzle that it is next to. The octane rating of gasoline is metered by a percentage. For example, 87 octane rated fuel is 87% octane and 13% heptane or other fuel mixture. The rating tells you how much the fuel can be compressed before it spontaneously ignites. Octane handles compression well, while heptane does not. When gas ignites by compression rather than because of the spark plug, it causes knocking in the engine. Over time, knocking may damage engines. HollyFrontier uses highly specific testing to measure and test all of the fuels in the laboratory before they are ever marketed. One of these are the knock engines where fuel blends are tested for octane rating.
Octane is measured in 2 test engines, and it's defined by a mixture of isooctane and heptane that is blended up to approximate the same octane number we expect from the fuel we're testing.
Heat and pressure are highly important in the refining process. In addition to accurate blending and testing, HollyFrontier is able to monitor and control many of the aspects of the refining process from its state-of-the-art control room.
What we have is those pressures, temperatures, and levels. Those are all basically what we have is the designed units out there. They're designed to run at those set points. And those set points then will produce the good quality material, the gasoline and diesel on spec and that kind of stuff. If we have a reactor out there that removes sulfur from gasoline, let's say, we have a certain temperature that we want that reactor to run at where the reaction to remove the sulfur is at its most optimum. And so that's how we remove the sulfur out of the gasoline then, as we maintain that temperature.
Each tank of fuel that HollyFrontier produces are certified before they are sent to the loading dock where trucks load the fuels.
Finished diesel is certified in the same way gasoline is. They test it for all the different properties. Diesel properties are different than gasoline properties. And then once that tank is certified, then we can transfer it to the dock or to the pipeline. So we never put products to the dock where people actually purchase it that haven't been certified.
The quality of our fuels has been proven time and time again, decade after decade. From no-NOx fuels of yesterday to super high octane fuels of today, Holley Frontier will continue to produce top quality products for years to come.
After the break, we'll see some ways Holley Frontier is giving back to the community here in Cheyenne. Our refinery has had a strong involvement with local organizations, but we've also focused on many great events here in Cheyenne.
At Holley Frontier, we feel it is important not only to give back to local organizations, but to connect with the community that's helped make us the organization we are today. That's why we are dedicated to our involvement in the community events that bring people together. One of these events is Super Day, a day geared around bringing the people of Cheyenne together with music, games, contests, arts, crafts, and sports in Lions Park. Super Day offers family fun for everyone.
The Frontier Refining Inc. Super Day is an annual event used to kick off July's National Parks and Recreation Month. It's a time to get people aware of what's available in Cheyenne, the different type of leisure services and organizations they can participate in, and mostly to just get people involved in life and enjoying what Cheyenne has to offer.
During the winter months, you kind of stay inside and hibernate. Once summer comes, everybody's just ready to come out and have a good time, and that's what Super Day's about. In June, we have just a big gathering. I think 15,000–20,000 people end up coming out and enjoying the party atmosphere, the games, the exhibits. And Frontier has been the main sponsor of that for a lot of years. I hope we'll continue to do that in years to come, because it's a great event for our community to showcase the neighborly spirit that we have here in Cheyenne.
For well over a century, Cheyenne Frontier Days has been the largest annual event in Cheyenne. Attracting thousands from destinations worldwide, this Western celebration has a special meaning to the Cheyenne community, and Holley Frontier is proud to be a part of the daddy of them all.
It's everything that the residents of Cheyenne know it to be. It's a wonderful thing that we were asked to help sponsor years ago, and we're proud to do that. It's really is something that adds to our community and that Cheyenne can be proud of hosting.
While Holley Frontier has been a part of Frontier Days for decades, we are proud to be a part of an event that is relatively new to Cheyenne. This is Cheyenne Neighborhood Night Out, a family-friendly citywide block party celebration held every July. While it is an opportunity for music, food, and fun for the whole city, it also brings the community together.
Neighborhood Night Out is really a block party that we have in the summer. And it's the vision of our now police chief. I thought that was a great idea. We need to introduce ourselves to the neighborhood, and so a lot of people took part in the first inaugural Cheyenne Neighborhood Night Out, and probably 700 or 800 citizens that came out and enjoyed the pool, the band, and the burgers and the dogs, and it was a great idea. We had it again this year. We were hoping to highlight our new building here, and it happened to be the incredible night of the hail that hit Cheyenne, that so many of us were affected. So we'll hit it again next year, and we'll hope the weather's better for us. we'll be able to introduce neighbors to our refinery and ask questions and just have a fellowship with our neighbors.
All of these events have one thing in common: a single goal to bring the residents of Cheyenne together.
We try our best to be good citizens. I personally believe that if you're lucky enough to have a lot, you should be able to give a lot. And we're going to continue to do our best to be good citizens and to even become more involved in the community. That's my hope.
At Holly Frontier, we're proud to be a part of the community that has been so good to us throughout the years. Giving back is our way of saying thank you.
Even though our name has changed, our commitment to excellence will continue here in the Cheyenne region. For Refining the Process, I'm Lance Kupek. We'll see you next time.